Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Esports Worlds, streaming the IESF quality friendlies on the Dota 2. We're following the Welsh team here again. Got my compatriot doedie here again with me. How you feeling this afternoon?
I'm feeling great, Lude. It's gonna be a fun one, of course. Last year, these guys made a very, very deep run. Of course, we're talking about the Bulgarians over here. But eventually, they kind of fell apart in Saudi Arabia, of course, in Riyadh, where the IESF finals were held last year. I don't know where they're gonna have them this year, actually, and it's also a little bit awkward that we already have the friendlies going on, but we're still no Wikipedia pages just yet. Third-party sources and all. Just joking, obviously. But yeah, of course, last year it was a big starred roster since EWC was organized in Riyadh as well, and
Exactly,
BZM
yeah.
and Little Pleb and Mind Control all were held back
Yes.
in EWC, and yeah, the boys got to play together. I don't know if this year it's gonna be the same case. I know Ivan. Oh, sorry. Mind Control has had multiple teams where he was going back and forth into the breach, namely one that we all know of here in the audience. Yeah, I'll be your fellow Wales imposter supporter today as well. And it's gonna be an interesting one because, you know, as a Hungarian, it's red, white, and green all over for both of these teams. So I'm kind of torn on which team to go for, personally.
Yeah, naturally. I'm hoping that our boys can pull it together. I'm hoping that we can. Either way, I'm just here. I'm here to watch some good. Just want some good team fights. I like to see some good hustle. Really, I hope that the boys can shake the cobwebs off out of after yesterday's game. They had the game yesterday where they were quite ahead for a little while and then just sort of dropped the ball, and I'm just hoping that they've been able to reflect and take the lessons that they need from that, really, and just play a bit more cohesively as a unit. And some of these players have been playing together for years, so I'm sure it's something that they are aware of, and it's something that they can sort of pull out. What are you expecting to see pick wise? Are you expecting anything interesting
I
from
think
any of these
Bulgaria is
players?
an extremely aggressive team. So last year they and North Macedonia were very, very typically with when you have this extremely dominant mid laner like BZM, or in the case of North Macedonia, it's Stoikov, the name
Yeah.
that just keeps on coming up again and again and again. And well, if you have someone that just goes ham, as No Tail usually puts it, right? Then basically it just boils down to this extremely easy fact that, like, if someone sets the tempo of the game, it's easy to put everyone in line and then just follow your strategies. So I'm expecting a lot of spirit picks. To counter that, you usually go for Rubik's or Dark Willows. Clockworks would be nice, as a support preparation. I'd rather see cores or position 3s up front, and even position 1s up front, and then support picks in the second phase, and then of course the big surprise of position 2s or position 1s would be where I would go for personally. That's the type of drafting style we have in 738. It's rather more about banning the meta, but then not trying to get what you want out of it, but to have a better cohesion. So a lot of players have been complaining about this. They can't play what they want to right now. It's more about what the team needs. That kind of drafting. Well, back in like 732, you could just pick whatever you want. It's the itemization that had a bit more heavy of an impact on the drafts, right? And it's interesting to see that, like less versatility is coming out of the drafting stages now. We have like 30 to 40 to 50 heroes being ignored, actually, which is very rare for Dota, right? We usually have like 10 to 15 heroes in the unpicked band
and
status, but
and I think that's an indication that there is a problem, that the game has a problem. I think I can't remember. I think it was TI. It was I think it was TI 6 or maybe TI 7 where only 3 heroes had not been picked, and it was I believe it was Wraith King, Ogre, and Clinks were like the only heroes that nobody touched at that event, and it was wild.
As we go to the draft as well, while we get the bands going and rolling, can you guess which of the tournaments had less than 3, actually? There's one where there was only 1 hero unpicked and unbanned. Which TI? It was a TI, I'll give you that.
It was a TI. Okay. Was it like? Was it 10?
Yes, exactly. TI 10, and it's very ironic as well, because the winners, of course, as you know, were Team Spirit. And
Yeah.
guess which hero it was as well.
It was Spirit Breaker, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Oh, was it? Yeah, of course it was. Yeah, because it was
The irony
it was
on
the
top
joke.
of irony, isn't it?
To be fair, I want to say at least 50 of those heroes were probably Yatoro, because
Yeah.
Yatoro famously played a different. Aside from the last game, he played a different core every single game, which is wild. All right, so Prophet, and TA banned here by Wales. I feel like
Yeah, the APA
that
makes sense a
three out
lot
of those
here.
match what I remember from yesterday. They've banned the AA this time. They don't want to deal with that smoke they don't want, which I think is perfectly reasonable. I do see that Jakiro hasn't been banned as of yet, so it could end up seeing that being picked up early by we could see that being picked up early potentially. It does seem to be a real nuisance of a hero to deal with right about now.
Bulgaria does like the Jakiro for sure. Last year I did see them even play it, even when it wasn't part of the meta. So it's
Yeah.
not out of the question in general. I don't know if it's still Loyola or Fail something. Fail is the position 5. It's been a while, right? Because Bulgaria is usually, as most of the Eastern European countries, they're very heavy on the cores, right? So
Yeah.
position 5s and 4s come and go. It's not an insult to anyone. It's just the way it is. Like let's just think about like
Bulgaria
Belarus
is
as well. Is the
spending a
same way as
lot of
well.
time on this ban. They're burning through almost half their reserve time here.
That's
So
just
they
good
banned
for
the
us,
Tinker, and
obviously.
then there we go. It's the Jakiro. It's
Easiest read
almost
of
like
your life right there.
exactly. I do know that last game, I remember that Tusk was their first pick, and it's a way to you've got a snowball option to get over the ice path and the macropire if necessary. It's not necessarily the worst. First
Mm-hmm.
pick monkey. So
This
that's
could
good.
be
That's
anything.
exactly. It's just about any position apart from possibly 3 and 5. Um, but yeah, I feel like I've seen Iggy and Neb play it, and I imagine that Ash Easy plays it as well. So I think that we got a number of options here with this. I quite like this as a nice flexible first pick.
Not out of the question. I do usually prefer the monkey on the mid. If you do pick up a Rubik here, which is like the classic Jakiro counter, you'd rather have it in the second phase or force the enemy. You know, it's just a free ban for you, especially looking at the dynamic, right? The enemy's first pick. They'll need to waste one of their bans on the Rubik if they truly want to defend the Jakiro.
Yeah.
Other long range supports that can deal with the two-headed dragon or like hoodwink, but those are rather more like you need to put yourself in a vulnerable position. Just like the Tusk, as you mentioned as well. Even though the
Yeah.
save is there, it's also the snowball is like basically an indicator of where you're going. People just stand in the ice path and wait for the Tusk to roll in, and then it's a little bit the other way around as you painted the picture.
Yeah, it depends on whether or not the ice path's already been thrown or not. it would be the determining factor. And sometimes a lot of spell face offs. It's who blinks first. It's who's less patient in some cases. But that's just one of the many things to think about with this game, really, isn't it? So the ban from the Doom here. So and the
Kind of
old
an
Darkseer.
indicator that they want to go for like something like a Medusa or an Invoker. That's the
Maybe
typical
a
pick.
maybe a Spirit Hero is an option as well. Just so don't have to worry about Doom for that lockdown. Ban from the Darkseer. I do wonder. Though there comes out the Tusk. The Monkey King much likelier to be a core at this point, but is it mid or are we taking it as carry?
I personally rather see it on the mid lane, the tree dance mobility in general,
Yeah,
and your fighting capabilities of jumping in, throwing out the Wukong's command, and getting out of the ring, and it lingering for a few seconds is a big confusion for the enemy teams most of the time. Although the Bulgarians are disciplined, they're gonna, if they go ham, they'll go all the way, and exactly, yeah, they'll want to cause chaos of their own. Sandstorm, Epicenter. This is the style I've grown to know and love from the Balkans, and and they'll even increase it. This Sand King Keeper of the Light combination, I'm always baffled by this one.
see. I think the other thing with Kotal is there is every possibility that that could be mid. We have seen, we have seen the old classic Kotal solar bind Dagon. It is a menace. Um,
Previous
so
patches,
it's
I'd absolutely agree. Not this one though. Right
I've
now, it's the
seen. I'm pretty sure I saw. I'm pretty sure I'd seen it in a game and
it's
saw it in a game
it's
in not Wallachia. What was the event? What was the event before this one?
Raleigh, Raleigh, or Raleigh, whatever. North
Yeah, I'm
something Carolina.
fairly sure I
Just
saw it in.
yeah, Rally. So in
Yeah,
Rally, there was one in group stage. I do remember that, but
yeah,
you mostly want to have the caudal rather run around the map and call people in with the recall.
yeah. Because I
The
think
added
we.
effect of giving you chakra magic and lowering down your cooldowns. It's nicely paired with the TB, lowering the cooldown of Metamorphosis. And Wales with the out front with the supports as we mentioned here on the second phase. Uh, I think our
So Warlock
cooldowns
is a
are
lot
a
of.
little long right now.
Yeah, got a lot of high cooldown dependency, especially the Warlock. It's like something like 160 at level 1. It's really high. Or is it 2 minutes? It's either 2 minutes or 160. It's pretty high. The Kunkka could be mid, it could be off lane, much like the Monkey King could be mid or could be safe. I think right now my inclination is to say that this is probably a Kunkka 3 Monkey King mid. So we're looking for carry at this point, at least would would probably be my guess.
Versatility
Life,
all the way. A nice little taxi for the Lifestealer as well. Strong classic lane with the Jakiro Lifestealer. This is an oldie with a goodie. It kind of forces the Kunkka out of the lane, so I'm more tending towards the Kunkka mid and the Monkey King safe lane right now. With a
yeah,
possible counter
maybe.
to the Lifestealer being. I was
Bulgaria
just
agree.
about to say the Enigma. I was just about to say the Enigma would have been great here.
Yeah, I yes, but then you're doubling down on really high cooldowns.
No, it's about the laning, dude. Over here,
Fair.
you'd rather force out the Lifestealer out of the lane in minute 5 or 6. Because the Eidolons just overpower you in terms of right click, and then you can't really do much. Um,
Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
uh, but yeah, it's not about using the black hole at all in this situation. But Lycan doesn't really fit the bill. Beastmaster is banned. Chen would be fun. I think 33 would greatly appreciate a little bit of Chen offlane back in the meta. But
So would
Nah,
I, but I don't think it. I'm not sure how applicable it is here. I think in terms of
no, Chen just
threes, we
doesn't
could be.
like being the position 3 this time. It's you become way too targeted for your liking. Maybe last year's offlane lone druid is what I was thinking over and over against the slice stealer and Jakiro, because like the bear could just run straight at the support and focus on right clicking with the lone druid. Bear's just a
There a
great harasser, but
an a Baden ban, huh? So thinking that it's an offlaner they think it's Sand King going mid, maybe. Um, I wonder how much scope there would be for a Bone Guard Wraith King, maybe, because the
hmm.
the right click of the Skelly Boys could potentially
On our side
sit
or on the Bulgarian one?
on ours, but
On our side, if it would be a possibility, I'd ban it right here. But the push power is not that great. Um, if Bulgaria pick it though, that would be great for us because Monkey usually comes out on top of that laning exchange. They could go for that, thinking that okay, we do have the triple melee core, but we have nice long range supports, and then the Wraith King could be a bit of a sacrificial piece over here. Once again, a great puck ban against us. We know that Neb plays it,
yeah,
and it's a great read from Bulgaria.
it does. It does mean that they're possibly on the fence still about whether Kunkka is mid or not. Then
It could just be that they're just about to reveal what they truly want to bring onto the mid lane, and then they're just protecting overall.
Could be a spirit option, maybe.
Good.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that they are thinking about Storm or Ember, but
I was leaning towards Storm against our Warlock and the Tusk. It's a good
yeah,
slide back, and
the
then
big jump on the with the Vortex, especially
exactly.
since the Warlock once he's dropped the rock, he's gonna be channeling the upheaval. So being able to disrupt that is always gonna be useful. Still no idea which core it is that which flavor core it is that we actually want here. The
I think in general, any kind of mana disruption would be huge. If we still go in with the Monkey King onto the mid lane, Kunkka on the off, we still have the possibility of an anti-mage, for example, to go extremely greedy with our draft. TB, I don't see
yeah,
happening with the Warlock personally. But with those out of the way, we will go into the Spirit Dance. I don't know if this is a good choice.
I mean
Um,
Neb is a very good Ember player. Um,
Neb is
so
just a very
there's
good player all around. So
yeah, but particularly but particularly good as an Ember. I can say that with certainty. I've seen a fair few games of Neb go absolutely crazy on Ember. So the instinct about Monkey King being a 1 looks like it was correct. What are we thinking about these? So the Wukong's Faithful, that's the facet that lets you leave the ring briefly, isn't it?
yes, indeed, because the other one is the Simian Strider, or it has been renamed
Yeah,
recently.
it's the one where you level tree dance to 5, doesn't it?
At the very same time, I do have two disconnections on my screen. Same on the vMix call. I don't know if this will cause a pause or a remake. Maybe there has been some kind of lobby issue.
Just kind of just stood around. Kunkka going for a tiny little wander.
A little bit of a
Contemplating.
strange play over here with again Ash DZ disconnected. Hello. There's connection issues here, and finally, yeah. It's actually the Bulgarians that paused the game first.
Oh, it's just politeness, isn't it? It's nice to see the.
Abandoned on Tusk. Oh, well, that does mean we need to maybe make the lobby. That's for sure.
Oh. Oh, that's
But
funny.
yeah, I guess we'll be right back. I don't know if it's up to production. I think we can talk a little bit about these two drafts.
Okay.
No, I think we can run through these two drafts. What do you think, Luke?
Yeah, I'm quite happy to talk about it. So we've got your thoughts then overall on the overall picks. So from what I remember, it was on the side of Wales, it was Monkey King, Ember Spirit, Kunkka, Tusk,
Sending you
and
a cheat sheet
Warlock
right now as well.
There we go. And yeah, there we go. It was Lifestealer, Storm Spirit, Sand King. I'm guessing Koppel would go 4 and Jakiro's the 5. You mentioned that really nasty Jakiro. That
Yeah,
Jakiro
Phaelix
pairing
is an insanely good player. This guy is, if I'm not mistaken, he's around the 18 to 19-year-old range. So, you know, just spry off high
Zoomer
school
brain.
and ready for life.
Zoomer Dota brain.
Exactly.
Wish that could have been me.
What I would give to be there.
So okay, all right. So that laning phase for based on that draft, that's going to be rough for because you mentioned the Kunkka's probably going to get forced out of that pretty handily. So it's
no, I'm not worried for Spartan. He recovered well yesterday as well from the laning stage, which didn't go super well, by the way, for Tunisia, and they just suffered all the way yesterday. But it's gonna be at the end, of course, like our laning stage was very, very strong. But even if Spartan's gonna have a bad laning stage, I'm according to their movements from yesterday, I'm extremely confident that they'll just recover with Ash TZ stacking up a few times,
yeah,
and
of
then
course.
he'll just knock them to bits with the Spartan Kunkka.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's like you can clear stacks easily with your Tidebringer and your Torrent. So yeah, he'll be able to just blast through those, no dramas. And then the mid lane between Ember and Storm, that from my experience generally just tends to be it's a skill based matchup.
Yeah,
for
my
Spirit money,
Dances. We had the spoil of growing up with Yavar versus Sumail mid lanes, right? And
yeah,
and of course, even in the old days, of course, we grew up with the Spirit Dances of the Ember versus Storm. It's a classic matchup, more than a decade old at this point, I believe. I don't remember.
Thanks for that, doedie. Thanks for reminding me how long I've been watching this game.
We're ancient. We're ancient, Lude, at this point. But
I don't need to know that.
Yeah, I actually I think by the time Storm was introduced in Dota 1, I think that's around the time I stopped playing. Because yeah, like the pandas in general, the way they were called back in the day, the spirits, right? Because they
were all Pandaren, weren't they?
Yeah, they were all Pandaren back in the day. And
the 3 Spirits update was 2013. What is that?
Lord. Oh my lord! It's been
I think the patch that I started playing was just before Techies came in, so TI4. What a TI to first watch, eh?
No, TI4 was definitely one I skipped personally.
I mean, you basically could have watched it and it would have felt like you skipped it. The finals were over so quickly. Grand finals over in 90 minutes. Casual.
Yeah.
Believe the last game was GG'd out in just under 13 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
what is that?
Newbie versus Vici, right? It is what it is.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't really a fond of that patch. I think I've watched the first 3 almost through and through. Or hold on, no. One I watched like a week after on like online VODs and other stuff. 2 I most certainly followed live. That was horrible for my sleeping schedule. 3
Yeah,
I
I
watched
imagine.
live as well because Alliance and all that jazz around the Swedish team finally getting the W. And then for some reason I only watched the finals of that one, but I mostly skipped the tournament. 5 I watched live. 6 as it looks like we have back into the game we go.
Let's go.
The connection issues are resolved. Yeah, 6 I didn't watch because I didn't really. As soon as Digital Chaos lost, I was like, nope, I'm not watching this one. For some reason, that's how I felt about TI6, and then 7 was the one where I was like, okay, yeah, I'll start casting after this one.
Okay, so it looks like they're posturing for a go down the bot here. I feel like the... Oh, popping the smoke at this point. I wonder if they're going to look and try and see where they can get the wrap. Wonder if they think that they're going to take the usual path and try and see if they can catch Bulgaria, maybe. See if they can get this Sand King, if he ends up moving further down towards the towards that rune. Looks like Bulgaria might have decided better of it. Maybe Sand King maybe stays there, and then might be a bit greedy if he does. Well, the smoke's popped, so they know. They know he's close.
Be a little bit of a pop.
Oh,
right
I think this is about to be a grab.
It's up to Bob Kata. He could just burrow strike out of here if he's fast enough.
Yeah.
There you go. A little dive.
Yeah, considering that forces a little bit of regen out of the Sand King early, we still get two runes. I think that's, we didn't really take any damage there, just a little bit of mana usage. I think that's, you would have liked to have get the kill there, but it's what it is. Looks like both supports sticking around now, maybe seeing if they think they can get a go on maybe the Tusk. Oh no, looks like they're going straight on the Kunkka. Alright.
Spartan with the open wounds. He is looking to suffer just a little bit. Now goes the blood grenade as well. The block just kind of nice with this triangle.
And I think, yeah, there we go.
In they go.
Yeah, unfortunately got griefed ever so slightly there by the Tusk. The intentions were good to try and keep him safe with the shards, but I think he was just, the pathing wasn't quite there, so he had to move a little bit more and was able to take a couple of extra clicks, and then he was in range for that last Q from the Jakiro.
Let's easily get the contact and evidence. This name seems familiar, but I don't think I watched enough pubs in recent years. But I think I've seen it, like his profile picture is extremely familiar to me. With the Pepe police meme all over on the icon, but I'm really not sure if I've seen the player play in general as Ash Easy. Nice little torrent turn. Could be a good catch on Phaelats. But yeah, no, with the torrent, with a little bit of harass, they let it go. Of course, Neb and Knowledge having a good time on the mid lane. If this would be BZM, I don't know if Neb would be up for the challenge. That would be a different question altogether, of course.
Yeah, and you can't fault him for that. That's you know, playing against someone who was, has been in a roster that's actually been really pretty strong these last few months in the main pro scene. Was actually in the lower bracket final of Valakia today, so but we're more focused now on the players that are in this game. So
That's for
So
sure.
notice,
And of course, yep, so far all the lanes are going exactly the way as we predicted in the first 3 minutes of Spartan. In trouble once again. But, yeah, this time the snowball was the good choice instead of the ice shards. Maybe not for Ash DZ. I'll go the
yeah, I think
shards.
he's out of it. There we
Spartan
go.
trying to retaliate. Overall, this is a good little sign. The lane is repositioning to a better area in favor for us, but overall, Spartan will need that extra regen where he can re-engage with the lane, which is going to be rough in general.
Yeah, and they were able to secure the flower over on the Jakiro there, so just able to just get the little bit for free refill to stay in the fight. Neb looking like he's not having the best time in this here. He's a little bit behind in terms of the CS, and also looks like he's mostly out of regen, so he has having to play with a lot of caution, which, you know, leaving a storm unabated to last hit in a free lane just doesn't sound like anybody's idea of a good time there, really. With the secure then as well from the water room from Jakiro.
That's still going to be trouble. Zingdub's favorite is once again the Jakiro. Rears its ugly, ugly heads. And it looks like Iggy is going to be low as well. But of course, both Kata, they got to wake up a little bit earlier to catch the Monkey King. The Shadow Word will help out with the regen. And of course, the ever-looming threat of new mastery and such. Well, yeah, they rather go for the skipped wave. All this gold, all for them. It belongs to them at this point.
Doesn't it feel weird that we've basically circled back around from, you know, Shadow Word being a really great trading spell if you use it as a heal rather than offensively, to skipping it because it's absolute garbage, to oh no, it's back to being a really good spell again if you're using it as a heal for trading. It's funny how Dota be sometimes.
I don't think it's ever been bad. It's just that, you know, things were like there's always better. You know, you're always looking for the better solution. Like spells could be similar, hero mechanics could be similar, but some people go back to the oldie but a goodie. And there's always the one-trick pony players, right, who are still in the 10k MMR bracket but can only play the Warlock, the Ogre, right?
I was talking to somebody at ESL Birmingham after party. I can't remember exactly who it was. I must say it was. I think it might have been Cinderin. We were talking about like changes, and one of the questions I asked was because I know that he transitioned to playing a lot of support.
Arcane Room, good catch right there from Ned.
Yeah, that could.
And they keep up the chase. They'll force out another ball lightning. But it does mean with evidence being right here, they might just go for greedy play. Tyrox throwing out the fatal bond to just keep hitting the Gandalf or keep hitting the spirits. Either or. Does Blinding Light, I think it landed. Overall, I don't see Neb's bar. Spartan dying up on the top lane, but let's keep up this coddle. It looks like Neb will be the Balrog of this mid lane. Finally picking up a kill for Wales.
Yeah, I think that was... I'd forgotten about the fact that, you know, we were talking earlier on about the Cottle being lane with the Sand King. Forgotten entirely about the fact that you're a Cottle supporting a Storm Spirit mana-wise. Hadn't even thought about that. Yes, cycling back to what I was saying, when I think it was Cinder I spoke to, where the question I asked was about, and I think it was the idea was that the point, that skill point in that early stages, back at that patch at the very least, it felt like it was giving you nothing compared to what everything else was giving you. And I just think that just maybe the numbers on it weren't right at the time, but it's now back to being a good and relevant spell.
Hold on.
Got Neb coming for a kill here.
Top. There it is.
There we go, getting some gold in Iggy's back pocket there, trying to get his, so he's managed to get his 6 off of that as well. So
I think we're good to transition into net worths, if we could see those, but more than likely, it's gonna be... Yeah, I'm actually surprised with that rotation from Miggy. He's up top. I'm more than curious to see if he's gonna go for the Maelstrom route, or if something else is gonna be up there. Nah, he wouldn't have been in any kind of trouble. Pistol does have the rage there, unlike Neb, who runs out of luck. Overall, the Sleight of Fist ends, and yeah, 3-1 hurts.
Yeah, he did well to you know, he got some licks in before he died, like, but it's there's three of them and one of you. What do? Sand King just looking like he's going straight for the blink into the Ags, prioritizing getting that initiation, which, you know, having jump against this the jump to be able to lock out to help with the storm.
Hold on,
not
evidence.
The storm, sorry, with the Ember.
Good catch there from Iggy. Nice. Beautiful Wukong's command, but you need to right-click people. And if you run out of that Jingu Mastery, it's going to be a rough one, as down goes Phaelix as well. Bobkata,
what?
You got to wake up a little earlier to copy our build right now, as, yeah, I'll just rather stick around in the Sandstorm and then wait for the right escape. Yeah, Bobkata last year, he'd rather played his Beastmasters, his Primal Beast. Anything with a beast in the name of the hero is basically what he played. I'm playing the Sand King, I'm playing it exactly the way we used to play in Hungary. Is kind of a fun thing to watch, for sure. This Blink into Aghanim's Scepter. Back in the day, Bloodstone was a thing as well. But in comes the rotation. Iggy, a few more right clicks for that Jingu. He gets it, but he needs to keep right clicking. But with 3 people around, it's just impossible. They collapse on the Whale's safe lane.
Yeah, and this is before the Kotl even has the recall. They're still just constantly moving as generally sticking in clumps of 3 and just being able to get picks pretty much wherever they want so far. It's gonna get rough. I do think that as long as they have been trying to make some stacks for this Kunkka to be able to get a little bit of catch up and start being able to get some of these auras, I think, you know, we do stand some odds of getting something.
Spartan. Big Cojones gameplay over here as 2/3 HP down on the Jakiro. HTZ joining in just to secure the kill, but Spartan's already at half HP. Now with him rotating out, Bulgarians are starting to realize they overstayed their welcome. In goes the Sleight of Fist, a little bit of burning with the Flame Guard should be enough. Neb will dive in for the kill.
And pops the regen, so he's about to get all of his mana back, nice and happy. Did, however, lose the courier, which had the cornucopia on it. Is that going to be for? I'm guessing that would be for, like, maybe for the. Oh, it looks like he's building a Mage Slayer.
Yep, makes a lot of sense over here.
Yep, with that Sleight of Fist.
The damage mitigation for the Storm. And for the Coddle as well, but mostly for the Storm, obviously for the Static Remnants.
Yeah.
And combine that with the Rum buff and you have a lot of resistances in general. Basically what Wales needs to do is that they need to sit in that Ghost Ship. Even if it doesn't hit enemies, you really want that Rum buff on your heroes, as many heroes as possible. So all eyes on Spartan, even though he had the harder laning stage. We should keep special attention as to how he plays the game for the next few minutes. That's for sure, because even if he gets this pipe, his ultimate is what will make or break these fights.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think this is a game where you go aura bot Kunkka, really, don't you? You just try and get as much, just be a body standing, holding a guard, holding a crimson and a pipe.
Yeah, you can definitely add an Ags at like 40-ish, 30-ish minutes in right now. Especially with games being this overly extended. We talked about it off stream, but it's not out of the question that we're going to be here for 60 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope everyone made some popcorn, popped a cold one, if you're of that legal age, obviously. But
Hey, soft drinks can be cold. You know, you can get
That's
cans. You
true.
can get cans of Coke out the fridge. You know,
Oh, but
or
Neb,
Pepsi if you're feeling it.
he's in a little bit of a hot situation. He could use a cold one, that's for sure. Well, but not that kind of dual breath cold one. AshTZ holds on to the Jakiro, though. Trying to make this turn happen as Faylets runs and runs away. Out comes the Burrow Strike, Chaotic Offering, but without the Fatal Bonds, it's not looking super great as we do lose out on Tyrox. The Banana Factory will close for now as the Chaotic Offering Golem will also be eaten for breakfast.
And then in the meantime, they're just able to rotate straight away onto this Kunkka, and with the using the delivery system there as well.
Broken Torrent, beautiful taxi play coming out from Knowledge.
Yeah, this is just going to transition into another easy tower, really, isn't it? That's the Radiance almost finished now on the Lifestealer.
It's just a perfect timing, and as well the beauty of it right now as well. If you look at the time, we're almost at 14 minutes. Another set of Shrine of Wisdom is going to spawn. Even if this play actually yields you the Coddle, you're getting a tower and the Wisdom Rune yourself. You can transition into the Radiant Jungle, and yeah.
Tormentor at 15 minutes. Seeing a lot of teams prioritizing taking that Torm as early as physically possible.
Yep, and overall you get this control on the bottom part of the map. As Dota used to be like a extremely top map heavy game, like just 2 or 3 years ago. I know we don't need to go back as much, but yeah, with now 2 Roche bits, right? The game is more balanced than ever, but with the Tormentor, a lot of people have complained that it's a way too big of an early advantage. I think 50 minutes, 1.5k doesn't make or break the game.
No, but it's one of those things you need to be thinking about that side. Like, it's a real difference seeing the teams that think about that side of the map and think about those objectives that early and try and look at getting that secured. It doesn't look like they're massively fussed on it as of yet. It looks like the Sand King's been recalled.
Ooh,
so maybe get
hold on. Barak's gonna get caught out, but I think Spartan's truly the one in trouble. Trying to run away. The run buff is activated. The Kunkka's on the run. In comes the epicenter. It could just be Neb getting caught out here as well. He'll pop the remnant, try and run away, but AshTZ is just gonna be left behind. In goes that ice path, and not even an opportunity to snowball out of there.
Yeah, it just doesn't want any of that smoke, really.
Ooh, the keep up. Onto Neb they go. Tyrox, they know exactly that there is a good Chaotic Offering here to be thrown. They will go pop it along with the Fatal Bonds. This is a good one, but there is no one to deal the damage. In comes Iggy, trying to do it himself. But at the very same time, a good catch.
Yeah,
onto the Lifestealer is not going to grant you the kill. On top of that, the Infest is available. Tyrox in the river. A little bit out of position for the Warlock. But as Spartan arrives and Bob Kata runs the interference on the back line, the Bulgarians might just go for the turn here. In goes the Illuminate onto 2 of our cores. Good catch onto the Sand King, and a little bit of chaos at the former place of the Tier 1 tower on the mid lane. But at the very same time, the Bulgarians will keep up the aggression. It's still 3 for us, 2 for them. An even exchange as finally we get on top of Faylets. It's now just a pesky Lifestealer, but he can still finish the job if he wants to. Out goes the Enrage. He doesn't really care about the Ghost Ship. Takes out the Kunkka, and it's now just Neb and Pistol fighting it out. Eventually, with Neb disengaging.
So yeah, that was a little bit. There's some positives there in that fight. They were able to get a good couple of picks. We were able to finally get a kill on that Storm. So I think that was a pretty good cash injection. I think the gold went to. If you can show us who got the kills.
Oh, we got it actually with 1.4k in our favor, but that's mostly due to the comeback mechanics and Lifestealer taking all the kills as he's about to just pick up another one. He has a Radiance, but he doesn't want to keep up the contact, especially with the Shadow Word healing up so hard.
Going for the Manta instead of S and Y there on the I'm guessing that's just to be able to disengage from things like the root from the chains without having to commit rage, maybe.
Yeah, an easy dispel on general. Shaking off slows as well, upheaval and such. Or just dodging out spells, dodging out life, sleight of fists, even if you are good on the timing. But yeah, easy catch on to Iggy and of course Spartan. Bulgarians will just keep up the aggression. Maybe they quote unquote lost on the net worth gain in the very last fight, but they still significantly outpace us in terms of space. And yeah, with them taking over this jungle, kind of stepping on our necks right now.
Yeah, bringing a load of the team in just to see if they can maybe get a grab onto this Ember. Does Ember have a run out somewhere? I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah, there is. You can see it just between, just a little bit south of the tier 2, but
You're learning his lesson, backing off. Ashteezy trying to bait out some few spells, but an ice path ain't much. Eventually, even this
he's got that
fatal
in like
bonds
4 seconds. Not even that.
go unanswered. We are ready for our third chaotic offering, but yeah, as soon as out goes the fatal bonds, the Bulgarians are just not unwilling to unite back together. Neb gonna get caught out, just gets that fraction of a second to run away. Will be enough to run them backwards, but he needs the Sange and Yasha on his side for the extra stat res. But yeah, with the Sange gone,
Sange delayed, yeah. That's
strong
rough.
2-minute delay, of course, on that item. As everyone on our side right now is extremely behind to their counterparts. Maybe not Neb. Neb is kind of keeping up a nice pace with knowledge.
Yeah,
only
this
600 net worth difference.
Lifestealer's just miles ahead of everybody, just basically an entire item ahead of everyone else.
Oh, Pistol just doesn't care. He's basically playing the AFK. If you call me, I'll come kind of gameplay.
Yeah, exactly. They can just recall him into the fight, and he's just like, here, I'm going to right-click things, and something might die, and what? I go farm.
$21 to $11.
See if they can get the smoke up here. I wonder if they might get lucky here. They might be able to get a catch here onto this onto the Lifestealer. Just posturing
Could
a little
be a nice
bit.
pinata to pop. I don't know if Pistol's died this game yet at all, so it's a nice little chunk of change that you get. 5-man commit to the Lifestealer. In goes Neb. They go with the sleight of fist. They go for the opening. Nice chaotic offering, but the epicenter return coming out from Bobkata is massive. We're going to lose 2, but it might just be 5 at the end of this, as Neb tries to run away with the remnants. Will get caught out with the ice path. Eventually he will just stack them up for the runaway, but Knowledge can keep up with his slides, and there's just no way of escape. Team wipe for Bulgaria at 21 minutes.
Yeah, that's rough, especially considering that, you know, Wales are spending a good bit of time posturing and getting ready for that engage, but looks like Bulgaria just had the read and just knew to get everybody there ready. The Sand King was already basically there, throwing his, throwing his Q and his ult down before even the rest of them arrived. So just a really good read there from Bulgaria. We even just could have argued that was possibly even just outright bait there from the Lifestealer.
I did like the attempt from Wales, but overall, if you're this much behind, maybe go for the smaller targets, right? It's usually what frustrates seasoned Dota viewers. Like, why are they just killing the supports? Blah, blah, blah. Why aren't they killing the carries? This is the exact reason why you don't kill carries under their own towers, especially the reaction coming out from Bulgaria is insane. And on top of that, we've mentioned during the draft, this recall ability, as you just saw on screen, from the Coddle. On top of them being able to join up on a hero and giving them mana, you can call another hero to you just like that. It's like if Evidence is listening on the stream or something. But yeah, he's right on cue about my explanation. He can call in people, he can join up on people, and he's giving them mana and lowering their cooldowns. It is to the untrained eye extremely broken, but it's not the easiest thing to do to, you know, keep up the rhythm of how to channel the hero, where to go with that ultimate. And yeah, no, Evidence is just performing wonderfully, out farming Spartan on top of that.
Monkey King went for the Axe and Mage Slayer, so wanting the soldiers, you know, the passive soldiers to be able to do additional Mage Slayer procs. It's not the worst idea in the world. I just don't, at this point, I don't know if it would be enough. A good couple of jumps on isolated enough targets, but
rocking it on the Jakiro would have been nice. Out goes the Chaotic Offering along with the Wukong's Command. All Iggy needs to do is hit. Gets pulled inside the snowball. Does not manage to get off that Jingle Mastery on time. As Ash TZ falls. Along they get Phalets, but it looks like now that Neb and Spartan are still in trouble. This might just be a Welsh lost hurrah, as Neb is the only one to survive the encounter, and all we get is the position 5 support.
I think this is a lane of racks. I don't think this is Jeej just yet. I think that we might lose a lane, and Ned's going to just do his very best to. Oh, that's a completely disrupted Ags for several minutes there for the Lifestealer. So that's, you know, a small positive, but
a little bit of puckish gameplay, right? Cutting the wave, taking a courier or two.
Yeah, I think that was, you know, that was. All things considered, that would have been a lane of racks lost. So really good job there by Ned in cutting that wave and preventing the go. So we know everyone is now up, and again we are behind. But if we can try and see if we can posture and maybe get a pick on our terms, if we're able to. I think we need to look for someone like the Cottle while he's by himself, like before he gets a chance to channel. Because then if we can get that kind of pick, it means that they don't have the option to then, you know, show up suddenly with a good with the numbers advantage. I think maybe that might be the kind of pick that we're looking for. But just Cottle's just doing a really good job and just keeping himself right towards the back and making it hard to get to him by himself.
Looking for this counterplay. You dare Fatal Bonds me, I will just kill you. Well, at the same time, Pistol gonna get Esmar just spotted back into the play. Tidal Wave as well. They'll try and keep the distance, but in comes Knowledge to help out his friend. In comes the Ghost Ship. That was the big deterrent for the Bulgarians to run away. But with the Will-O-Wisp just pulling us in, it looks like Tyrox just types out the GG. 33-12. We might still lose Neb over here. But yeah, Bulgaria just playing on a different level of Dota right now. 26-minute finish.
Yeah.
Best of one friendly.
I mean, they're diving past the tier 4s at that time. What do? Like no, at that
what
point.
Do? It's just the power of the Lifestealer and the Coddle overall. You have endless mana with the regen coming out from the Spirit form, and obviously it's just I think personally going into the Spirit Dance here would have been a mistake. Was a kind of a mistake. I think the Pangolier wasn't banned. If Neb would have gone here for the Pangolier and yesterday he would have gone for the Ember, we would have been talking about totally different games overall. Because yesterday I thought that zippity zappity jump is what he needed. And then in this game, you needed utilities of just taking away the mana, or just that, you know, like a bit more sustain into the ice path. Something that rolls into the ice path and doesn't care about it. That's the kind of things I wanted to see. You know, like my 2 cents don't push much. I'm not coaching national teams anymore, or other stuff like that. But yeah, overall, I think you put it well, way more adequately than I did yesterday. It's like they're shaking out the little mistakes, and they're trying to be more cohesive right now on Wales, and the laning stage is still wonderful. Like despite the results in the first 10 minutes, I think the laning stage of Wales is really strong, and that is something you should utilize as well. Like going into the mid game, which targets to pick off, where to react, where to go, is something like maybe that they should be working on overall. But
Yeah.
like the laning stage in both of these games, these two games that we've seen so far against Tunisia and Bulgaria, it's nothing to be sad about. And on top of that, it's just friendlies. So yeah.
Yeah, it's not that deep. We're here for vibes. You know, it's fun times.
We're here to test the waters, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be in a few months where it's all starting to be for keeps. But for the time being, it's nice just to get the feelers out and just sort of see how you are as a unit against some of these other teams, and just sort of try and gauge where your game is. And you know, X amount of the information that you'll be gaining from this now, and the X amount of the meta information will probably be out of date in, well, however long, considering that Valve can fluctuate from, you know, short space of time between patches and, you know, over a year in some cases. So time will tell if we'll be seeing you in different heroes. But for the time being, I think the important thing is just to really drill down on the playing together and trying to have that kind of cohesive unit.
It sounds easy, but it's all about that cohesion and team coordination, isn't it? But yeah, I think we should go on a little bit of a break. We have 90 minutes to get some din-dins, refreshing ourselves, and hopefully the players will do the same. Algeria will be our next opponent, though. Our last friendlies for this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, let's hope the boys are gonna pick themselves up on this next one.
Yeah, I believe the next game starts at 6 p.m. GMT.
Yes.
7 p.m. now. Okay, interesting. 7 BST.
Okay.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll see y'all later on.